Hello, it's April 27, 2022. It's a SIG Node CI subgroup meeting. Welcome, everybody. I posted both topics from Slack threads, and I think, Danielle, you started post them, or maybe like this was started by Deems, maybe. Do you want to go through this topic first, since it's more generic, and then we go into more like a triage mode?
Sounds good. So Dems helpfully gave us a list of jobs that are currently failing. And it would be nice for us to get people looking at them. So I already went and opened PRs for the Fedora swap and Ubuntu swap jobs. But yeah, ideally, would be nice to get someone to look at the cryo jobs that are currently failing or flaky. I've never actually used cryo outside of Kubernetes tests, so like, I'm probably the wrong person to go play with those. If anybody else has time to take a look at those, that would be great, because some of them have been failing for a while.
Yeah, an interesting thing about cryo jobs, this alpha job doesn't really run alpha tests and it fails on non-alpha feature. So maybe definition needs to be adjusted, should be easy fix. And then eviction is our favorite eviction set of tests that are hard to troubleshoot, but it's different failures. I think cryo has disk eviction problem, and containerd has some. So there are two different evictions. I don't remember. Like my memory doesn't serve me well right now. And flaky, I'm not sure. Like I never looked at it. Peter, are you on the call? Do you think you can start looking into that?
Hello, I'm here. Yeah, I can try to take a look. I'm like this and next week are kind of swamped trying to cut stuff for Cryo 124, but definitely after that and hopefully before that, I'll also poke my team and see if we can get any assistance as well. And
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch to Danielle for getting started and taking a look at some cryo jobs. I really appreciate it.
Seas of Green are much better than red checkerboards, so.
Okay, so I think, yeah, this test, I looked at it, it's just a broken image. I have a PR for that, but we are in a code freeze. This I haven't looked at this one, I don't remember.
That one is Node problem detector. I posted in the Slack channel asking someone to take a look.
Okay.
Because oh wait, maybe this is a different test.
Yeah.
Oh no, the soak is the NPD one. The flaky one is something else.
Yeah, soak. I looked at soak. Like I have a PR for that. Like NPD verification doesn't work when a test is running more than 24 hours, because it is looking for events that supposedly kicked on in the beginning of test. And if beginning of test was more than 24 hours before, then it will not find it. So I have like work in progress for that. But then soak test is also have a different problem. Over time, it accumulates so much something that disk getting overloaded. So we start getting like disk problems. And it's basically because it is a soak test, like it soaks a cluster for a very long time. And it's maybe some configuration setting that we can adjust. I really don't want to turn it off because we don't have any other soak tests, but we need to get it back to life. But NPD part is figured out. I have a work in progress PR for that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, like I remember what was the name, Queen, or like person who joined last week. He said that he will take a look at this flaky, but it will take him time to do that. So let's see if there will be progress. It's not NPD. Yeah, eviction. I think we need to find owner for eviction. We looking internally in our team and in SIG Node. But if anybody also has cycles now, let's try to take a look. I think this is a longest failing test with an unknown issue, with unknown problem.
I mean, so the problem with the eviction test is mostly known. The problem is fixing it is unknown. The eviction tests have the problem of interacting with each other and like anything else happening on the host. So if we actually want to make them reliable, we need to do something that's going to mostly involve potentially rewriting a lot of them. For the disk ones, I've been thinking about trying to switch to like using like RAM disk or disk image or something rather than the host disk. But for the other tests, we need to figure out something else.
Yeah, you start. I remember now, David Porter mentions that some disk problems may be caused by slow filling up of a disk. And David is on the call, so maybe you can comment.
Yeah, I mean, I had a little bit of time. I unfortunately got sidetracked by something else, but I did a little bit of debugging of the eviction test, and what I found at least was it was trying to fill up the disk, like the one that's failing, the local storage eviction one is failing because it's trying to fill up the whole disk. And the disk is pretty big. I think it was like 30 gigs or something like that, 40 gigs, but it was filling up very, very slowly, like 10 megabytes a second or something like that. So it was maybe just timing out before it even got a chance to fill the disk. So that was my investigation. I can maybe comment on the bug. So maybe we just need to speed up. I mean, maybe there's other problems there too, no question, but at least one problem is it just seemed like it was filling up the disk very, very slowly.
Okay. Yeah, if you'll comment on the bug, it will be helpful. And maybe we can allocate smaller disk machines for that.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's one
will be
option too,
easier
yeah.
fix. Okay. Yeah. So David will comment this one. Perfect. Thank you, Danielle and David. Yeah, I mean, even if you find a quick fix for that and like it wouldn't fail for a while, it's good first step. I mean, we really need to get into green state because our next steps is, as Danielle pointed out, is to improve coverage, right? So it's really hard to start improving coverage if we cannot get to the green for so long.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Danielle, are you there?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about this like thread that you started on reliability and maintainability? Is there any action items you want to start immediately, or yeah?
So immediately, not necessarily, and that I think it's going to be more valuable to figure out what we want to do before we, just start going ahead and doing stuff. I'm gonna try and set up some time in the next couple of weeks for people to start to sort of like get people together to start talking about the improvements we want to make and where. Yeah, like I'm gonna presumably send something out to the mailing list tomorrow. But if people are interested in helping make the kubelet be better tested and more reliable, you should come chat to me about how you want to help make that happen. But yeah, like we've had a lot of fairly scary escaped bugs in the last few releases that it would be nice to not keep repeating. because it's really hard to land any code in the kubelet without breaking something else right now. And like the CI subgroup has been a great start to making that less likely to happen, in that if tests fail, you can now generally assume it's because the test failed for like legitimate reasons. But now we need to sort of like move forward and increase the coverage. And also, in some cases, you know, write code to actually be testable and stuff.
Hey, Francesco here. I will have a couple of open-ended questions. I'm not sure this is the right place and time. So, but let me just mention it, and we probably can elaborate offline. I would be happy to. The most, first of all, yes, absolutely. I want to help. In last couple months, I had unfortunately not enough time, but things should be better now. So yeah, sign me in. Thing is, adding tests and adding the necessary refactoring to make the code testable as ultimately the same reviewer bandwidth issue as new features. Now, I for myself, I would agree that we should prioritize this work, but still we'll have the same fundamental issue of reviewer priority. Do you folks in this forum agree that could be an issue? And if so, let's try to figure out how we can address that.
Yeah, so that's part of why I brought this up in the general SIG meeting yesterday, in that I want us to treat this with the same importance that we would treat, you know, KEPs. And actually, as we're considering what KEPs we're going to accept for 125, build in some bandwidth for reviewing and improving like maintenance PRs, because they are really hard to land today. In the like a PR adding tests to container manager sat open since February without review until yesterday. And I'm hoping that if we can get it actually treated as a priority, especially now that Derek is back, we can try and get some stuff to actually happen.
Okay, thanks. I will just say that I will actually go as far as requiring to have some bandwidth for that. I mean, statically allocating some bandwidth for them and making that actually a goal for this. This is probably what you said already, but really I'm reinforcing that for the next couple of cycles, because I agree we are in a bad state and we should improve.
Yeah, like any like KEPs we bring in at this point are non-trivial amounts of risk for everyone who runs Kubernetes in production. And that's not okay. And so I am gonna be as loud as I can to try and make that a little bit better. Because I am tired of debugging new weirdness. But as part of the reliability effort, I also want to try and put in place some kind of like reviewer guidelines for kubelet PRs. Hopefully around like making sure that things actually get test coverage. And also to try and motivate people to, you know, encourage people to write tests before merging code. Like the amount of changes to behavior that we land that don't break or change any tests is quite frankly terrifying.
Yeah, I agree with all comments. I think we did good job getting there, getting to where we are now. Like, I think in the past we always stumbled onto this trap when you want to increase coverage and do something, but everything is red. Like, how do you even iterate when so many things needs to be improved? And even today, like Francesca, I don't know about your bandwidth, and you said you have problems with bandwidth. I hope you still have time to debug this device plugin tests that we just disabled. And I understand it's hard, and like I don't want to put it peanut on you, but I mean, without this test coverage, we have very little visibility into quality of that code. So
No,
yeah.
You're right. You're right. I will prioritize that. Unfortunately, I have a couple of rough months bandwidth-wise, but yes, please actually nag me. I want to get this done.
Yeah, and I don't want
Thanks.
to pin it on you specifically. I just want to demonstrate this problem when like bandwidth is really a an issue, and I think we get into better shape with bandwidth-wise. So we have more people having time to investigate things and help with things. So if you need help with this test, maybe we can find somebody else who's interested in helping you as well.
I will try harder to find time. It should be better, but I will try harder. But if anyone wants to chime in and take it over, be my guest. I'm not really offended. It's okay. We need to get this fixed.
Daniela, did you think of any ways to kind of enumerate areas where we need to better test coverage, or like types of tests we want to support?
So I have kind of a bunch in the back of my head. I am trying to, rather than like force that into what people are thinking about, let people first think about the areas they think things are missing, and then pad it out if there's anything I missed. Partially because I want people to be engaged. If I wrote a document with a list, people would go, yeah, looks great. And then nothing would ever happen. If this is a discussion where people have things they are interested in and care about, I'm hoping that actually motivates something to change. But there's a lot of stuff where like, if we have like happy path testing, we don't test what happens when say, like there are gRPC issues talking to a CRI. Like I've had customer production bugs escalated to me where it's basically like some weirdness happened. We couldn't reproduce it, so I can't say what weirdness happened. Talking to a CRI at like the wrong time in the Kubernetes loop and just like breaking a bunch of container state. I could never figure out exactly what happened. Like couldn't reproduce it, like just somewhere in the pod loop, CRI returned garbage and the kubelet just broke. Like, so like a lot of like sort of failure case testing where we have happy path testing. Also potentially different types of failure testing would be nice, in that we don't really have any today. But the more important part is adding coverage where we don't have any today. There's also a lot of cases today where it's hard to tell what is broken versus what is expected behavior because we don't have tests defining what the expected behavior is. And there's no like specification for what a kubelet is aside from like conformance tests. And they are nowhere near like complete enough for that.
Yeah, definitely can count a few examples of those as well. I think, yeah, people like examples is graceful termination when we still cannot decide whether readiness probe supposed to run during graceful termination, not supposed to run during graceful termination. Like we see bugs filed for both situations, for both cases. It's quite annoying, and we need to decide what we want with Kubernetes. Yeah, another examples. Anything else on this topic? I think next steps will be like Danielle, you said we promised to start the mail thread and like get more activity around that. So we will probably discuss a lot during this meeting and main SIG meeting. And Francesco, thank you for bringing up the reviewer bandwidth problem. Like we definitely need to increase that and improve things on that.
Just one quick note, because it was mentioned about the resource management area, which I agree, by the way, could use some more testing. We may want to make sure we involve Kevin Clues from NVIDIA, which is very, very, very expert in this area, and I think it should should be happy to help and assist us. So just make sure he's in the, because Derek was mentioned, the area wanted to mention it, so make sure he's involved. I will ping him and make sure he knows about this.
Sounds good.
And especially with a couple caps, we keep discussing around this device deallocation and device plugin model.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. I think we can quickly go through dashboard. I think, Jamin, did you fill it up this week? I think we,
Yes.
yeah. I think we listed all the test failures in this Jim's message, but did you notice anything new, anything that worth mentioning?
There are a few new flaky, but only a few 1 or 2 data points. So we can continue monitoring those and to see whether it's constant failing.
Okay. Thank you. I don't want to go deep into this because we just discussed all the jobs.
Yeah.
Thank you. Get in the triage really quick. Danielle, you mentioned that you want to drop off early, so
Yeah, sorry, I am not having a good day. Yeah, I will. Yeah, feel free to CC me on anything that needs review.
no worries. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, looking at this, it feels that there are so many things that don't relate to this group. So I hope that triage will be super fast. Okay. I'll take a look. It's still assigned to me. Let me put it into approver. I wonder why this wasn't merged yet. Require connecting I think this is already approved. Oh, it's product change. So we're in code freeze. So I think we can mark it as done because once branch will be opened, it will be merged automatically. Anybody wants to take a look? Just removal of files. I can take a look.
Oh, yeah, or me, as you
Oh.
wish.
Yeah. Give it yes. Oh, I opened it twice. Yeah, seems to be just new test case. Anybody wants to take a look?
Yes, please count me in.
Thank you, Francesca.
Yeah, thanks.
some code refactoring. I think it's outside the scope of this group, so I will just archive it. Oh, it's a cherry pick. Yeah, it doesn't need our attention. Right. So this is, you don't need this any longer? David, I will close it. Reopen if you need it.
Yeah, you can go ahead and close it. I don't need that.
Model mode. Okay, it's not about us. Same story. This is a huge PR, and I'm not sure whether it will happen. Fingers crossed, though. Okay, C advisor end-to-end fails. Is it already been looked at? I think it's now green, right, David?
Yeah, this one I looked at. Oh, is it green now?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Did you do anything?
No.
Oh, I thought you fixed it with the new C advisor.
I'm a little surprised it's green actually because I thought it would require some test changes. So good to see. Okay.
Okay. I like closing bugs. So this is with an author. It's me experimenting. Every SIG with 2 files. I think a person just did a rebase or something. So let's remove us. Yeah, not us. HQL support. Oh yeah, this touches a few of our test areas. I looked at this before. I will take a look. If anybody interested, just assign yourself. And it needs review. Because I think we're removing some codes there from like skipper code that skips execution. It's work in progress. Okay, then we're done with this review. I think we're done with the test part of meeting. We will go to bug triage right now. If you're not here for bug triage, feel free to drop off. And for bugs, we only have 10, like actually 9, because it also counts as thingy. Input restart. Where was it closed? Oh, it's merged. Yes, this is what investigate. I would ask this person to give us a little bit more information. Volume usage. David, are those metrics coming from C-Advisor as well, or you don't remember?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you know if those metrics coming from C-Advisor? Volume metrics?
I think so. Yeah, I think so right now. Yeah. If it's for the root FS, I think so. If it's for the other volumes, I'm not sure. Need to double check.
SMB volumes and the host pass volume.
Yeah, I think C-Advisor just creating reports all the disk stats, so it doesn't get them for whatever reason. They won't be listed there.
What logs will it help? Kubelet logs wouldn't have this information, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe like something like a maybe if they ran C-Advisor manually and then compared it to what like the DF, you know, I just on the Linux, if you do like df-h and show all the file systems and stuff and disks mounted, and try to see why C-Advisor did not detect the disk that Linux is detecting.
So does C-Advisor has any logs that we can ask for?
C-Advisor should, I mean, yeah, I think it should. If they bump up kubelet verbosity, they think they should see it because it all maps the same verbosity. So maybe a couple of things we can suggest. One is to bump up the kubelet verbosity to maybe like V4 or something like that, V6, and then add their logs. Second suggestion might be to run C-Advisor manually and compare the output as reported from C-Advisor to like df-h or something like that, where we should list all of the file systems. Maybe they have some weird, I know C-Advisor some weird stuff for like ZFS and other weird file systems that are like standard ext4 and stuff. So maybe something like that.
DF minus what?
like a df dash h, for example, something like that.
Thank you, David. Sample stack on container creation. Yeah, very badly formatted log message. Trying to understand where the failure is. What sandbox changed?
I'll take a
Also,
look at this one.
reference. Okay, thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
I will accept triage accepted because there is a dereference issue, and I mean you cannot fake it. Can you remind me?
R. Phillips.
No, right.
PHILLI. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, thank you. Affinity. $120. Oh, the person cannot reproduce it again.
On top of that, are we sure this is a kubelet issue, not say a scheduling issue? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember how SIG scheduling is it just scheduling? Yeah, scheduling. Hmm. $120. almost out support. And let's just wait for more information. Yeah, I think this, yeah, this, Ryan, you already replied to this. Current device, I'm not returning. Oh, Francesca, it's your bug. I will automatically accept it. Oh, it's already accepted.
Yeah, speaking about hard to debug and hard to understand bugs.
Are you looking for somebody to assign it to, or just keep it on backlog?
Capacity allowing, I'm looking into that. I will probably send a PR. It's going to take some time because it's really a very nasty flow.
I will keep it in a backlog then.
Okay, and again, if someone wants to jump in, be my guest.
Yeah, I mean, from a quick look, I don't know whether it's wrong or right parameter. Is this a bug? Yeah, I will let SIG storage to decide. Okay. And last one. Okay, the problem is Docker installation. Does anybody wants to take a look and remove some code?
Yes, you can give it to me. I will check with Daniel.
Thank you. Less code is better. Okay, then I think we done all the bugs. Any other topics for today? Anybody will have anything to discuss? Okay, then. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.